Saturday Showdown. T1 versus Gen.G Esports.
I'm kind of expecting Keen to play something maybe a little bit more tanky, and that is what he's looking at right now, as the Scion will be considered. Man, this does mean that game number 2, Rumble and Gwen priority, is going to be out the wazoo. It's going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah. I think T1 are pretty okay with this. You know, they end up in... They have a comfort pick for Faker. Faker's most played in rounds 3 to 5. You know, Owner's on his Xin Zhao. The Orianna Xin Zhao is a good combo. Corky Poppy going to be very serviceable later on. There's a lot of dive throughout the enemy team. It is pretty scary, but I think overall things have been navigated pretty well. That Aurora Flex, like the Aurora Vi, the dive threat for the enemy composition is scary. Don't get me wrong, Gen.G do have a comp that has a lot of cohesiveness, but I think the threat of the Aurora Flex is something that kind of just didn't really get utilized, and I think T1 are pretty okay.
So we get fireworks from the beginning, no matter what. Let's jump into the Rift here for game 1 of our Saturday Showdown. Aurora, if played properly, is just kind of disgusting and lame. And now Canyon, speaking of pressure, is coming down to look for a dive. Gumayusi does have his summoners available, but he may have to use them as the Valkyrie comes out. There's the barrier, as Duro holding onto the turret aggro, and he is a cannon. And so he can do it, as Carrier now so incredibly low, as Canyon just standing next to him. Gets out the steadfast presence as the flash forward. Duro will be able to tank that one up. No buckler death for him.
Yeah, he sets up and baits the slam from Carrier, flashes it immediately, which was just so well played, and then lands the root onto Carrier, gets him low. Goes for the redive here, takes aggro. Walks out, the buckler comes in, not enough to kill him.
Yep.
Duro just playing that one so perfectly. I feel like playing with T1's bot lane now. Dive coming top.
Yep, Keen could be in a little bit of trouble, and by could be, I mean, he definitely is. Flash out from Ona, that is going to keep him alive. Keen will be able to deal with this wave. Of course, Scion pretty good at getting dove, which is a weird thing to say, but not going to miss out on too much, and he stops the back of Doran.
Jetpack has to be very careful, as Doran with flash can just kind of one-shot him if he wants to.
Yeah.
Ona does just smite the Scuttle, but carries enough to keep Canyon away.
As the flash forward, looking to lock down the Nico, and Doran just punishes Duro for overstepping.
Kind of needed for the side of T1. Finds the window, doesn't get tricked by the clone as well. Connects immediately. If you're focused on like trying to kill the backline, and there's just Renekton there, doing so much damage, especially with the buffs they made to his dominance. He just kind of melts everyone who's nearby. Kind of chocolate bar, you know?
I'm not saying this out of experiences. We've got a bit of an engage. Great snare to come down from Duro, and another kill comes in for Ruler. Now Duro looking to lock down Carrier, but he's not going to find out. Gumayusi does flash away, but it's a double for the Kai'Sa. Doran trying to get in there as Canyon looking to fend him off. But Cull the Meek not going to quite work out. The heroic charge does come through though, and Ruler will be locked down. Doran is very scary, but he just goes down. Chovy finds the angle, and it's another Tangle Barbs as the double comes in for Duro. It's kind of crazy though, because you can see Canyon moving over here, looking to try and lock down this dragon. Could be double dragon for T1 to start this one off, as the knockup does come through, but they're not going to be able to get here. That's going to be a Chemtech Soul, which honestly, not too bad. Oftentimes they give you a hard time for this one, but there is a Renekton and stuff like that, as Gumayusi taking a lot of damage here as it turns out. As okay, we've got a cease and desist here. Gumayusi is going to agree. He will stop. As Canyon, he may as well. And a teleport in from Doran as well, so that is going to mean that it's T1 favored. Great little pick off there, and good answer from T1. As Canyon's moving over, but there are a lot of people underneath this turret. Looks like T1 do want to employ the Rift Herald, and he does go down. That's a great double shockwave from Faker, as Canyon and Chovy looking a little worse for wear. This isn't going to be the tower falling down immediately, and Keen looking to try and get some pressure down. Let's see whether he can find an angle as he slows down Doran, but they just turn onto this Scion. Gen.G not able to protect him, and Keen has to flash to get himself out of the way. Blooming Burst not quite doing enough here as Chovy walks
and look
into the river here. They've got so much vision of this area as they look for it. Doran underneath the turret, but maybe it's a bridge too far still. They managed to lock that turret down and trade for their Renekton. Cease and desist, and they just mow them down. Keen not going to quite find the window here as another Tangle Barbs comes in, and Owner is also dead. It's a triple for Ruler. Oh no! It looked so good for T1 until it was a disaster. As Owner is off to the side, this Otacon down to 50%. It's taking so much damage, man. If Ruler decides things just go down, but Doran has found a flank angle, and Ona gets himself in there. It looks like they're not interested in the other kind of cease and desist. Will connect, fully charged Q onto Doran, and he is going to be the first one to go down. Pop Blossom to deal with Carrier, and they do manage to do it. It's just front to back here for Gen.G as Ruler goes in, looking for the last few shots. The supercharger comes down, but Gumayusi, he outplays it. Duro now in trouble as Otacon is looking to finish him off as Keen. Can he get over this wall to lock him down? And he has the flash. And Gumayusi, not many ways out here. Faker has actually taken out Chovy off to the side, and he gets the Otacon! All of the pedals going their way, and now they have the DPS. Keen, he's just a tank, and he has to walk it off.
Do you see Chovy looking on this flank angle?
Yeah, Carrier is going to get spotted here by Gen.G as Keen moving in, wanting to find the angle. Chovy throws down between worlds. There's the Void Seeker connecting for Ruler as he gets dove on by the Renekton. Pop Blossom does nothing at all, and now Canyon's in trouble. Void Seeker is going to connect. There is the knock-up, and Ruler is over the wall. He takes down Gumayusi, goes golden to keep himself alive as Carrier's trying to be a hero. But it is going to work. They do get Ruler. And now it's Chovy needing to kill Faker in this game, because if they don't, he might be able to just win this one by himself. He wants to take the Aurora, but the orb doesn't have the range. Ona wants to get in there. There is the stasis to avoid Keen, but he's so extremely tanky. And Chovy's not going to risk it this time around. Ona just audaciously charging this Brambleback. And yes, Keen is kind of immortal against these champions as Chovy's making his way back, and that is T1's cute exit.
We'll have to back away. Keen got so much presence here. Chovy TPing back in, now looking.
Yep, doesn't get it.
T1 aren't even opting to contest the Dragon. That's how concerned they are about moving into an area they don't have vision, on the back of the fact that they don't have flash on their carries.
And it is Soul Point. They have started off this Baron as Duro not going to get stunned, as there's the knock-up coming on through. Duro gets over the wall, but I don't think he's necessarily in safety just yet. That Tangle Barbs may have helped out as Doran looking to get in there. The Pop Blossom, though, is going to hold him up in the air, and Duro will survive. That was some very cheeky Nicoing, and that means that the Baron is going to get stopped, as now Canyon, he's the one in trouble, and Gumayusi does a lot of damage. Cease and desist will not be acquiesced at this point in time. And there goes the jungler, and the Baron's up.
Yeah, so big pick to get Canyon down if they want to set up for this Baron, but Doran is low, and they're still cautious about the potential for a fight. They're now looking for more. Yep,
Mega Cone does get Ona in there as between worlds goes Chovy. Knock-up is going to come on through for Keen, but he is still melting here against T1. He does find some knock-ups, but doesn't get the Q. Void Seeker going to come on down here as Ruler. I don't think he wants to fight this. The Zombie Scion will be taken down, and T1 keep everyone alive, and this should mean Baron.
Yeah, the fact they got Chovy's ult as well, a big tool down. The poke is coming in from Ruler. Remember, he has the reset in his W every time it lands.
Yep, Chovy's still up as well, as there is Doran setting up that Dominus. He's had a beeline towards Ruler every single time, but this health bar is just getting softened up. The Baron's likely to go down, but can they get themselves out? And the answer is absolutely yes. As Chovy on that angle, Canyon moves into the pit, I think unseen there, as now Doran dives on top of Chovy. Can he actually get himself out? He goes between the worlds, but the Krug Lord has him exactly where he wants him, and the Dragon goes over to T1. Keen is looking to go down here as well, as no redemption for the Scion, and T1 finding the angles in the late game. Get into position here. That is definitely this inhibitor going down. Let's see how much more that they can collect. As there is no Baron, they can deal with the wave theoretically, but there's a lot of low-range members on Gen.G. And T1 will have front row seat to this. Here's the engage as Ruler dives in, immediately does go golden and does flash away. Can he stay alive? That's the question. The answer is no! Ona is able to lock him down as Canyon gets into that backline, but it's not going to be enough. And T1 they were losing the entire game until they weren't, as Keen is going to show up, looking to try and deal with this wave as best he can. They might be able to do it here for now, but that's another Zombie Scion. And Doran running amok in this fight as well. This one may not necessarily be completely over just yet, but I think the writing is on the wall as T1, phenomenal performance late in this game. Duro and Chovy trying to get this one done. Out goes Chovy. No between worlds for you. And Gumayusi just needs a few shots on this Nexus. Chovy not going to be able to finish him off. And there it is, T1 with a Game 1 win. did more damage than Ruler, which is kind of ridiculous because he was, you know, absolutely massive in this game. Just at the end, wasn't able to get past Doran. Every time Doran saw him, he was flashing on top and just doing the... What are we playing, Carrier? What have we been cooking up? Zillion. Well, as we know, there's no Killian the Zillion. That's a Silas that he's hovering, so maybe we're not being serious just yet. Let's see what he does decide to lock in. Can be, of course, the Nautilus, which does work out relatively well, but instead, Renata will be locked in.
I mean, this is the thing we talked about, right? The melee topside, the short-range composition. One of the best champions at punishing short-range compositions is Renata. You're forced to dive in against T1. There's no real option about that. And now you're diving into a Trundle, you're diving into a Renata, and it's going to be pretty difficult. I feel like if we get to the later stages against T1, if Gen.G aren't crisp, if they end up face tanking the hostile takeover, things could get very messy very quickly. So I think T1 have some powerful tools behind them, and it's really going to come down to this Pantheon Galio. This is such a strong duo. They have so much global pressure. We could very much see Gen.G running away with this game as a result.
Has actually practiced or not. New expansion coming out. Maybe he's been playing it. Let's get on to the Rift. Get into game number 2.
For Gen.G, but it just comes down to how it plays out. Because obviously last game we saw an good spot, and now looking for a potential dive. They are healthy.
They're healthy, but so is this wave. As Extendo Beam does come on through, let's see what Dura can do to keep Ruler alive. As he does Ghost, but that is not going to help him at all. Down will go Carrier, though.
I think it's just hooves as well, right?
They're not hooves, though.
Are they not?
I don't think so. As Ruler may just kill Doran here as he flashes and picks it up. Maybe there's some generosity there as Keen. Not going to be treated with very much generosity here towards the bottom side of the map. I say that. Doran is going down so incredibly low as Ona gets in there, tries to put him in the kennel as the ward goes down, and Doran is able to help him burn that one out. So that got the value for his Trundle.
Oh.
As Duro is flashing in, Handshake is going to come on down as Canyon says, "This is my dragon. Please leave it alone." And they will say yes.
Yep.
No flash available here for this particular Gwen as Duro is utilizing that Hex Flash, and they will be able to find Guma here. He does have the bailout, but I just don't know whether that's going to be proccing as Ruler looking for more. It is another kill going over to this Zeri.
But pulling off perfectly, and the power of the level 6 from Zeri obviously very strong. T1's bot lane not expecting to be punished because, you know, you think you're playing Civi, you think you've got the spell shield ready, the safety before after bin his flash.
You're exactly right.
Unfortunate. Oh no.
Well, some needlework going to come on through here as Carrier, not going to find the hostile takeover because Keen just walks over it. Now he's looking for Gumayushi, who's not going to have any way out of this one. Dura just pulls him in with the Magnet Storm, and now can we have some Gwen certification as well? Because Keen is kind of massive.
And now with Keen and Ruler so far ahead, I am very concerned for T1.
I'm a bit concerned for Chovy here as well, as he is going to have to flash to get himself out of this one, but I still don't know whether he's out of the woods just yet. Is going to Justice Punch, and that is going to keep him alive. So we're going to check this one out once again. Keen looking very relaxed there in the player cam as he just wanders over. And the hostile takeover is just going to do nothing as a result. There's another flash in live, as we can see in picture-in-picture.
Removed in return for like the AP ratios on Ziggs Q.
Oh, got a little bit of a stun here onto Ona, who does have to flash away. Hostile takeover is only going to connect onto the Pantheon, but he's kind of okay with it as the heroic charge comes down. Bailout will actually activate, but not too much more as, oh goodness, if it wasn't certified before, it certainly is now. I would say so. It did feel pretty significant last time, but the results certainly were not. This is another result of some situations that were happening elsewhere as the teleport brings Faker in, but he doesn't really want to be here. Still, Carrier and Ona are going to turn up, and I don't think Keen is quite as immune as he really wants to be. As the bailout is down onto Ona, and down goes the Gwen.
Oh no.
Well, Gumayushi is going to get magnetized, and Ruler going to zap him a few times. Does actually invest the flash, just to make sure that he's not going to get closed in on, as Owner has found him. And if he gets into Rune Prison range, this could be dangerous for Ruler, who's trying to kite this one out, but it's not going to work. And it's going to be the Rumble that locks down the shutdown. Did you ever use it as a track, or was it only ever to launch cars as far as you could launch them?
Launch cars.
Yeah, that was actually the only thing I thought that it was about. Immediate teleport going to come on through here from both the Rumble and the Galio as Keen possibly going to get flanked here as Faker does come on over, but he has Carrier in tow. We do have the heroic entrance coming down. The equalizer does basically nothing, unfortunately. And Chovy's able to tank this one up. T1 using so many resources, and they have to realm warp themselves out. But Duro just catches them in the magnet. Handshake is decent, but it just brings Ruler closer. So the T1 will melt. Another Penta will be denied. This time it's Canyon that does it. But Ruler probably still happy. He's a 9-2 Zeri in this game.
And then we get the slow comes in from the Pantheon, and then the engage from the Rel, and then this with the Runans as well.
Yeah, the ulti hits 4 at the same time.
It's just prime scenario for a Zeri at this point. And I feel like Ruler just, it was just like the most chill team fight ever.
He was so locked in, dude. He didn't say Penta once.
Wow.
Possibly never ending. That has now been completed as Owner wanting to steal this one away. He does get stunned up though, and then just put into the blender. Down goes Gumayushi first. The other con is secured by Ruler somehow, as Carrier trying to get himself out, but he just gets crashed into by this Rel. And now skating over the wall, Jet Set Radio Future here for Ruler, and he will be able to just zap down Faker. There's the pentakill for Ruler Zeri, as it doesn't work the first time. Why not just set it up again?
And then here, Ruler's definitely going to call for it now.
Yep, let's listen to him celebrate. The man that gets denied the most pentas out of any other player on the planet. It will be Doran. Ruler able to lock it down, but Quadrant kill comes in. I want to see the celebration. Ruler, give it to me. Wow, zero reaction at all. I guess maybe he's playing Zeri, so he's like, maybe it doesn't count. As Keen is going to be able to pick up a kill onto Doran here at the same time. Feels like he's also got the upgraded shoes. Chovy going to look for Owner here. Does manage to land the taunt, but Ruler not going to go too aggressive. Keen is though, as in comes the Galio as well. Lands a nice double knockoff as the bailout is there, but it buys a few seconds maybe. And Gen.G are just going to pile in and destroy. Ruler looking to skate on over and just one taps the rest of Doran's health bar. And Gen.G, I think they're done having fun in this game. They're going to look towards game number 3 to try and close this one out. T1 will be back on the blue side though once again. I'm just glad that we get the full series between these two titans here in the LCK. Remember, stakes still massive for T1. They will have that first pick advantage. Let's see whether they can turn around this momentum.
He was everywhere this game, setting up his carries perfectly. And if ever there's been a statement game, Duro definitely saying, we are gonna win this series, doing his best to make.
It's Tahm Kench.
Tahm Kench makes sense in terms of the safety. Not a pairing we've really seen too much with Yunara specifically, but it's a concept that makes sense.
That's sort of his way. As the Cassante, the Keen Sante, being hovered here, as he's grinning just a little bit. Let's see what is actually going to be confirmed. But this would make some sense given the player that we're seeing on our screen. And they will lock that one in. It's not necessarily breaking any records as far as creativity is concerned.
Yeah.
But it's tried and true, and it certainly works. T1, they have a Yunara, they have a Victor, and they have a Dream. And we'll see whether Gumayushi can pop off.
It's one of those things, they have a lot of tools to shut down these carries. There's a lot of early agency. Skirmish is going to be phenomenal. We've seen how much the Wukong can do.
Yeah, we're going to see who is going to make it to the milestone first, whether it will be Chovy or whether it will be Carrier. Based on who wins this game, we'll be coming away with that one as well in today's Saturday Showdown. Let's get into it.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, does not manage to actually fire it into Gumayushi though. Some success for the...
They go for... I mean, Ruler has the fourth shot as well. I think they've just burst him.
Yep, let's see whether they can find the angle in. As Gumayushi is going to be able to make his way out actually, as Ruler was tanking up the turret. They get the teleport out from the Yorick. And this could signify an early lane swap here for T1, as Owner is making his way and gets the flash out from Chovy. Having to deal with both at the same time is the important part, as Chovy is going to get licked momentarily. Death Ray comes on through, and Owner is coming in. Yep, no flash available for Chovy, so he's just going to get impaled to death. And that is first blood going over to the Skarner as well. T1 respecting for now. Keria possibly on an angle in, only level 5 here for the Tahm Kench. As Duro also, the Canyon will be able to W over, then Duro with the follow, so 2 come through for Gen.G. The last one was secured there by Owner as well. So we'll see who gives the most gold, as Ruler is going to get exhausted. Keria finds the gobble as the stun comes in, but I don't think Ruler's getting out of this one. Nice barrier though, and he survives! And now the curtains are being called. The last bullet gets the flash. And by last, I mean first. And now Keria, he's the one in bullet hell, but is going to survive momentarily. Oh, the deadly flourish coming on through there as Duro does make his way in. Man, Ruler is locked in today, as Owner is so tanky. First item complete.
Yeah, Canyon doesn't have a first item completed yet.
Oh, Ruler also doesn't have his ulti, so they're down a few buttons on the side of Gen.G. Chovy as well, his health bar relatively low. Slurkle going to connect. Duro gets in there with the quickness, finds quite a few, and down goes the Tahm Kench to start us off. Flash out from Owner, trying to keep himself alive as he's going to have to drive his way out of this one, but he will not be allowed to. Ruler delivered that kill. Gumayusi going down on the side, and Gen.G just wiped them out and then start back on the Dragon.
Are they going to TP Doran in or just let this go? I think the call is just let it go.
Yeah, Faker actually TPing to the top lane.
I think they can be pretty happy with that. You know, they're going to TP Yorick in here as well.
Yeah, now Canyon going to have to be a bit tricky here to get himself out of the way, but they're not even able to lock down this mid-outer turret. And if there's anyone that knows that Jins can be disappointing, it's me. My face. Faker, his ultimate is just a circle. Doesn't actually do any slowing. Yeah. Keen is a raid boss, and he's going to go all out. Brings in the Yorick, and where did he go? He might be inside a Slurkle right now, but that's in the death chamber. We cannot see it, as Chovy finding a nice double stun here, as well as Owner looks to come through, but he's delivered by the Kazante, and down goes the Scun. Oh God, it is a bloodbath as Gen.G just mow them down. The Otacon going to be taken as well, as Faker, the last man standing, and there is nothing that he can do. He can throw out a Stunkle.
You're struggling there a little bit.
Yeah, I was attempting. As 4,000 assists here for Chovy, and he's looking to augment that with his 500th win as well. Doran's health bar looked large, but Chovy makes it much smaller. As another Q will do it, and down he will go. And maybe there's a way back in, as Doran, once again, finding some bad guys, but now has Owner with him. Warrior Trixie does bring Canyon over, as that is going to be the red buff secured. There's the Impale as well, but Chovy will turn up. Owner having to flash away. The curtains have been called. Owner is able to... Oh, never mind! The last shot going to come through, and no one can escape this Gen.G today, as Duro able to just dash his way out of there. Gen.G find a couple of picks. This could break open even more of the base.
Just feels like there's no real recourse from T1. They're kind of just trying to get people out, run away, disengage from the situation. Oh no.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get closed in on. His health bar disappears in the blink of an eye as the flash forward from Keen, looking for an angle, still wanting to find more, even though there is a Yunara and a turret there. Gumayusi just not really doing the damage. And the Ghoulie wall comes down, looking a little bit sad there as well.
Yeah, where did he go?
Well, you know how they banned...
He's taking a nap. I like it.
Do you remember when Gen.G banned Ball? They managed to kill Ball. Owner now going to get slowed down, and catching Duro was never going to be an easy one.
Okay, we're flanking.
Yeah, Duro and Ruler possibly in trouble. Let's see how the Ghoulie wall is going to connect, as the Morning Mist is going to miss. So, Morning Mist, it missed.
Yeah. Also, Ghoulie wall not very effective against Rakan.
Oh, that's that 50 gold that we were talking about as well. As Duro, that's a little bit frightening, as they do avoid the knockup, but even the Battle Dash gets him out. Oh, Duro, that is unfair. They deserved that one. He is still doing so much damage in this game. As, see, there, for example, Owner was a tank, by the way, guys, and now he is dead.
He just got deleted completely. They're going to kill the Maiden now?
Oh, no, there's no recourse. As now Chovy having to deal with the Arcane Storm. Faker able to take him down, asserting his dominance against his opposite number, but still the result is going to be a dead inhibitor in this mid lane. And I think this is just confirmation that Chovy isn't getting POM for this game.
I guess
so they can get some bounty gold, as in goes Duro, out goes Duro. Canyon. Oh, this flank angle, they do get vision, but it's just a little too late. Still Gumyushi's able to flash his way up a Canyon. Still so healthy, there's the flash forward. And Chovy says good night to the top lane of T1. The Unara tried, but T1 are now all on the floor. That is going to be the game win from Gen.G, and it is back-to-back massacres here in games 2 and 3. As Gen.G really wanting to put an end to this regular season that feels good, and man, they are going to be one heck of a raid boss moving into playoffs.
And with a super dominant performance, Chovy gets his 500 wins.
There it is. He has been here for 6 years now. Wow. Creating milestones. It might have honestly been okay for T1 because
Pretty fantastic performance. Chovy was pumping the numbers. That is sure. Did miss that cannon though, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, certainly some things to VOD review moving into the next one. But I wasn't expecting 36K from the Annie in this game, especially when that was the smallest gold advantage that they had. He is, of course, probably the one more likely to do the damage, as, Ruler is going to pick it up. No justice for supports here today, but Ruler...
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the team interview. For both sides that just played their season finale. And we will start with Gen.G. Aside from Duro, who isn't feeling well, please welcome Keen, Canyon, Chovy, and Ruler. Congratulations! First, let's talk to Keen, the attitude of the reigning #1. You are coming out of the final match of the regular season. How does it feel to defeat T1? No, that was our last match of the regular season, and I really wanted to finish off with a banger, and I'm just really glad that we're able to get that victory. And in game 1, in game 2, despite the heavy pressure earlier on, your Gwen still shredded the game. So, how did you feel playing out? You know, I did feel like they're focusing me down. Honestly, but if I look back to the entire match, it did feel pretty comfortable overall. And even in game 3, your Kisante was on point. And you have so many competitive top laners to face in the future. So, what message do you have for them? I don't really have much to say, but I hope that we have an enjoyable match. That was Keen, everyone. And next we have Canyon. With the playoffs coming up, this match was your checkpoint to test your form. So, what did you focus on? Since this was the last match before the playoffs, I just really wanted to focus on, keeping our form up. And with Pantheon being open in game 2, you were able to secure the win. And your Pantheon actually has a 4-win, 1-loss record. So this must mean that no one should dare leave Pantheon open for you, right? Yeah, lately Pantheon's been being released. And I feel like Pantheon actually is very playable and actually pretty viable when it comes to having to counter him as well. So I think that's probably why, but I do believe that I am pretty confident with Pantheon. And in game 3, you left Unara open and took Wukong and Anthony, and it worked well, so who pitched the idea? I think we just wanted to leave Unara open, and we were ready to just take other OP picks. So I think we were just all really aware of how to proceed with the draft. And there's about 2 weeks left until the playoffs, so how will you prepare? As far as I'm aware, there will be another patch for the playoffs. And I think we'll just have to go over our tier list again and make sure that we have it all ready and prepared by then. And next up, we have Chovy. Chovy, 29 wins, 1 loss, 48 points. with such a dominating regular season record, you were actually the top player of the match as well. How does it feel? This was our last match, and this was actually a really crucial point where we can check our form. And I'm really happy that we had a pretty good performance, and I'm even happier that we were able to finish off with a victory. And with Gen.G's victory, Hana Life Esports clinched second place. And yesterday, Delight actually sent some support for you guys. So, did you hear? Well, I just found out about that. But I guess thanks for your energy, thanks for your support, we were able to win today. And you have another milestone in the book. You are the second mid laner in the LCK to reach 500 wins. Congratulations. What a happy day, of course. How does it feel? I got 500 wins. And it feels like, I got a lot of wins. And I want to make sure to keep on winning to reach 600 and 700 wins. So how are you just able to keep performing so well if you can give us two secrets? Well, I think I just really focus on what I have to do to fulfill my own duty. And I think just trying to minimize my mistakes actually does show off and reflect a better performance. And I think just always having a goal in my practice actually also helps a lot. And Gen.G will be waiting for everyone else at the peak of playoffs. And you guys will have the power to pick your opponent. So which team will you pick? I don't know who will make it to the playoffs, but I believe that it is right for my team captain and the head coach to pick, so I will just leave it up to them. And what mindset do you have for the playoffs? I believe the playoffs is the most crucial, and this is only the beginning, so we'll make sure that we are well prepared. And next up, we have Ruler. In the LCK after your return to Gen.G, you finished 29 wins and 1 loss. How do you look back? I'm very satisfied, actually. In every game today, it really all came down to your champion to scale. So, how did you feel? Especially about game 1, actually. So, after the loss in game 1, I think I was able to bounce back and I made it up, so I'm just really happy, honestly, right now. And in game 2, you got your 8th LCK pentakill. And of course, we have this replay ready. Classic Seri! You say it's so sharp. Honestly, I was just so fed at this point. I feel like autoing them a few times, they would just die. They just rolled over, so I don't think there was anything special or flashy here. I think my teammates just really supported me well. Yeah, I mean, I deserve a lot of pentakills, but of course, my teammates... I mean, these tricksters, they've been stealing my pentakills. And with today's match, you're on the board as the player with the most pentakills, so congratulations! Are you going to keep greeting for pentakills then? Of course! I'm going to always stay thirsty for pentakills, and I hope that my teammates are cooperative. Do you agree with him? Now that we didn't steal the pentakills, it feels like he is just so ungrateful. What approach will you take for the playoffs? I feel like we'll just stay on track with wherever we are headed towards. I think we'll just focus on, the macro play and the team fighting, and I think that's just it won't really change much. It'll stay the same. And as the team captain, Ruler, please send a message over to your fans. Duro. Actually, not. There are many fans who must be watching us from home, and given that today is Saturday, I hope you have a happy weekend. And thanks to you guys, we had a very happy Saturday showdown. And that's the end of season team interview with Gen.G. And in just a moment, we will have a team interview with T1. And T1 has finished third place in the Legend group. Now we will have the team interview for T1, who just reached the end of regular season. Please welcome Doran, Owner, Faker, Gumayushi, and Keria. Doran, you are coming out of the last match of the regular season. How do you look back? You know, the season has
잘 마무리하고 싶었는데 아쉽게 졌지만 그래도 플레이오프 남아 있으니까 더 힘내보겠습니다.
has been so long since the change of the system. But, you know, there's a lot left to be desired, and I think we could have done a lot better, but I'm happy that it has come to an end. And after joining T1, you have shown that you're blending pretty well in with the team.
잘될 때는 이제
What did you communicate with the team the most?
순조롭게 잘 풀었던 것 같아요.
I feel like we just happened to get along really well in the team. I think communicating was not the biggest issue. I'm actually doing really well communicating with the team and staying on the same page as them.
데이터들이 있기 때문에 잘 기반을 잘
And I feel like
플레이오프 때 더 좋은 모습으로 오겠습니다.
based on all the data we were able to collect with all the experience that we got throughout the season, I think we were able to grow as a team. And Owner, you finished third place in the Legend group, and we saw how fired up T1 was. So how would you rate this regular season? I feel like we had a good opportunity to reach second place. But with the playoffs remaining, I hope that we can bounce back with a refined form. And there are some things to celebrate and some regret. What would you like to improve? Once we make it to the playoffs, you know, there are matches that will really all come down to all the fundamentals and the basics. And I believe that once we have a solid fundamental, then we would be able to clean up our performance. And what are you looking forward to in the playoffs? You know, when it comes to our team, I believe that we have a ceiling that we can reach and we can always do better. I'm really looking forward to how well we will play. Next up, Faker. Ahead of the playoffs, you just played against Gen.G. So what did you try to focus on today? No, it's right before the playoffs, so I personally wanted to really focus on our own performance rather than the result itself. So that's what I really try to focus on. So what approach will you take in preparation of the playoffs? For the playoffs, I think we'll try our best to show everyone what we have been practicing and what we have been preparing. And I think that just will be the reflection of everything that we have been preparing so far. And for the hardworking teammates you have played alongside the entire season, do you have any message for them? You know, it was a rough season with a packed schedule, and I feel like everyone worked so hard, and they're still working very hard, and I want to tell them thank you. And next up, we have Gumayushi. It was the last LCK match. How does it feel to finish the regular season? You know, it was such a lengthy, yet such a season that just felt like a zap. So it just leaves a lot to be desired, to be honest. And what do you expect from the playoffs? You know, given that it's best of fives, I'm expecting a lot of diverse picks to come out. And you know, because you can rise back from the lower bracket, I feel like there's going to be a lot of fun. And any message over to your fans?
이렇게 열심히 항상 응원해 주셔서 감사드리고
First of all, thank you so much for your unconditional support. And I feel like today we showed you such a regretful loss, but T1 has always showed a strong side in the playoffs. So I want to make sure that we are able to bounce back. And Keria, in this regular season, you reached 800 POM points. How do you look back at the season? As for this regular season, we had some home ground, and we made so many nice memories with the fans. And I really wanted our last match before the playoffs to be a good one, but you know, it feels like a bummer. And you have 2 weeks left, so how will you prepare? You know, with it becoming a best of 5, I think we will actually have to prepare for a lot of different picks, and it's going to look very different. So I want to make sure that we are prepared. You know, today felt like a regret. It feels like a shame. So I want to make sure that we come back stronger so that we have so much more to show to our fans. And back to Faker, what message do you have for your fans? In rounds 3 to 5, I feel like we had improved our performance as compared to rounds 1 and 2. And for the playoffs, you know, we'll definitely prepare well in preparation for the playoffs. So please look forward to our performance. And that's the end of the season finale team interview with T1 and